Greetings and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin, and today we are doing yet another Blu-ray slash DVD, update or whatnot. It's basically our show where we show what's coming out on Blu-ray, DVD, and all of the above. So this time I've got my voice back, so I do apologize for last week if for those few of you who do watch. But we back in business, so we're going to take a look at what's coming out for April 22nd and a few items that are coming out a little later. But as always, we start off with the anime, and there's only two anime. And the first one is Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba Hashira Training Arc. So this is another one of those. That's the Aniplex version, of course. I have been collecting the Crunchyroll version, was Funimation, because it's cheaper. But for those of you who do like the fancy stuff and you do have the fancy money to spend, it is out. It does look good. I don't have the room for the double wide, and I also don't know about the series well enough for this. I have yet to watch an episode of Demon Slayer, yet I have been collecting it as it's out. I think I'm just waiting for it to end. Once it ends, maybe I'll start it then. So Sentai is re-releasing Armed Girls Machiavellian. Now, this is it does have an English dub. I've heard not so good things here, but it does have the first 12. It does have all 12 episodes plus the OVA, Badump, a pleasure trip with all 5 swords. When students at Aichi Coexistence Academy learned their school was being converted to an all-girls to co-ed, some of the feistier young ladies may have overreacted a bit by arming themselves with sharp implements and forcing the boys to dress and act like girls. Unfortunately, all new dress code sounds like a drag to the new transfer student Fudo Nomura. He just might have the martial arts chops needed to take on the lovely but lethal Supreme 5 Swords, who now rule the school. Well, I guess now we can actually, what is the word? Now they can actually have an excuse to up the price again, because this has been going for like dirt cheap. I don't know. Is it good? Let me know. All right, now on Non-Animu. For those of you who love Tombstone, and it is a good movie, I probably need to update my DVD copy. We are getting a 4K Steelbook release, which is pretty cool. We got that Univista Disney label acting again. And I admit, it looks good. I do like it. And Tombstone is an excellent film. I don't like Westerns all that much. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big Western person. But I do like this. This does look cool. No issues there. Sneakers, which is one I really need to see. Kino's getting a 4K release of it. And there's also a Blu-ray release. Dan Aykroyd, Robert Redford, Ben Kingsley, Martin McDowell, River Phoenix, Sidney Poitier, and David Sheridan. So heavy cast. I believe this is like hackers and stuff like that. I've heard a lot of good things about it. One of these days I plan on seeing it. When? I don't know. Of course, Kino's also re-releasing Career Opportunities on 4K. For those of you who don't know. Oh, nice romantic comedy there. All right, Foul Play is also being released from Kino Lorber, which, another Chevy Chase film. We get a lot of, with Goldie Hawn, of course. They love pairing together. But they're a pair, but I don't know. Chevy Chase is one of those weird things. I like the stuff he does. I like his comedy, but he is a jerk. So it's hard to say. But I am curious. I like his stuff. If it goes on sale, one of their big sales, I may get it if it's cheap. Yeah. The Hunt. This is an interesting one about, it's kind of like a Most Dangerous Game type situation. It's kind of funny because me and my wife during the pandemic, when this came out, they were running some free movies that were out at the time on Pornhub. So it was kind of funny. We were watching we watched it off of Pornhub. And so I do have a copy of this on Blu-ray, but if you want it on 4K, Shout Factory has got your back. So Criterion is releasing basically 2 films by Claude Berry, Jean de Florette, and Manon of the Spring. Some pretty famous films. Not really my cup of tea at this point, but if it's, maybe on a Criterion sale, maybe. But even then, I'm getting very selective about what I get. Doesn't look it, but many of my pickups are old pickups. So this is one that I am going to be putting in my wish list, which is Captain Planet and the Planeteers, the complete franchise. I do think this is cool. It has all 6 seasons of the series. That is being released by Warner Brothers. I am surprised that we're finally getting all of it. I did enjoy this when I was a kid. Very nice environmental message for kids. It's going to be a mixed thing today, I'm sure. But, for those of you who like some other crazy, weird future stuff, we've got Demolition Man coming out on 4K through Arrow. So that's a nice release. I think I've got another Arrow release of this on Blu-ray. I don't feel like it needs to be 4K, but hey, for those of you who want it on that, it's a decent enough futuristic film. Stallone and Snipes facing off against each other. Cheyenne, the complete series, also getting a nice Blu-ray release from Warner Archives. You want to get that for $124.99? You can go for it. Yakuza Wise from 88 Films, another series like that. I've watched some of these Yakuza type movies that were done in the 70s and 80s, and some of them are good, some of them are not. A lot of them compare them to the Godfather style movies. I don't necessarily. Matter of fact, they feel like more business than dark at times. Jakomon and Tetsu, both, or Yakomon, I guess it would be. Also by 88 Films, a village subsisting on its herring fishery. A one-eyed criminal named Yakomon terrorizes the inhabitants. One of them, the son of the head of one of the fish companies by the name of Tetsu, decides to overthrow Yakomon and his cohorts. There you go. Lady with the Sword, also 88 Films. We're getting a lot of these released on them today. A lot of vintage Japanese style films. I think Japanese. Nope. Korean looks like. Okay. Then we've got Ultraman Z from Mill Creek. For you Ultraman fans, you know who you are. So more Ultraman coming to you on physical media. I think you can collect most of it at this point, from what I've gathered anyway. The Cruel Sea by Kino Lorber. Again, that's a pretty nice drama there. Pretty old drama. 1953. Empire of the Dark, which is a cool sounding movie VCI is releasing. A private detective searching for a killer comes across a satanic cult from another dimension. Monsters called up from hell and murderous ninja assassins. Yeah, best that 1990 would have to offer. Hysteria Season 1. Again, those of you who like Hysteria, you know who you are. I'm not going to even. Borderline is being released from Kino. It's a 1930s film. Let's see here. Yeah, it's interesting. It could be an interesting film. It sounds like an interesting plot. Very kind of like racial disparages and society and all that stuff. Yeah. We've got Tendaberry, which is a Tribeca film exclusive. As her boyfriend returns to Ukraine to care for her ailing father, 23-year-old Dakota faces the challenges of precarious new reality, navigating the complexities of survival of New York on her own. Dun, dun, dun. on my own. So Universal Studios is releasing Legend again. Now, I like Legend. Legend is awesome. I've got the Arrow cut, so I don't see the point of getting this one. But it is there. And also, it's the theatrical version only. The theatrical version, it's kind of weird. The theatrical version has a kick-ass soundtrack. But the extended version is the better film, at least in my opinion. So you really got to look into that. Lost on a Mountain in Maine through Breaking Glass Studios. Based on the book of the same name, film tells an inspiring story of a 12-year-old boy who's separated from his family by a fast-moving storm, must fight to stay alive in a 9-day adventure across the backwoods of Maine. Sounds like a Stephen King thriller. All right. Despicable Me film collection. You know, it is funny. Despicable Me movies are like basic candy. Not like the great Halloween candy. The first one is kind of. It's like a basic Reese's. The rest of them are kind of like Smarties. You know, the ones that are okay. And you don't mind them every once in a while, but they're not like the best of the best. But I have watched all 4 of them. I haven't watched the second Minion movie. It's because I know my wife loves the Minions, and she hasn't felt like watching it, so then I'm not watched it. Purple Rain getting a Blu-ray audio release. Now this is on the 25th. So we get the studio album for Purple Rain. And that's kind of cool that you got that on the Blu-ray release. BB King on the road again. These Blu-ray releases that has some videos of the tours and the bands and stuff like that on the 25th of April. Tangerine Dream, Phaedra. Again, one of these Blu-ray releases that gives you some video along with the music itself. $83. Whew. Tangerine Dream's fun, though. Dear Mr. Fantasy, a celebration of Jim Capaldi, featuring the music of Jim Capaldi and Traffic. Again, these are all for the 25th of April. Camel, the Snow Goose. Again, for those of you who are familiar with these people and this music. And finally, for the 28th, we have one more, which is Andy Summers and Robert Fripp, the collection recordings. So, you know, for those of you who do like that. All right, well, that's it for this time around. We'll see if there's any comments. I don't think there are any, but we will see. We will see if there are any comments. No. In any case, I hope you like that. Let me know in the comments, of course, what you're planning to pick up this week. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. And of course, we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.